welcome back to my Advent calendar of self-care, and today we're looking at F, which stands for food, because I know at Christmas time obviously there's lots of lovely food around to enjoy, but it can become a real issue for people, especially if there's somebody who struggles with body image. And what I'd like to share first of all is a thought that I read a few weeks ago and I really liked it. And what it says is you can't hate yourself into a version of yourself that you love. And I think often when we've got an issue with body image and around food, we think that we've got to crash diet or exercise excessively, and we can be really unkind to ourselves in enjoying food. And I'd really like to perhaps offer a different way of looking at things. And this involves being mindful. I think the number one thing to recognise is that food is actually, it's not our enemy. Food is there to be enjoyed. It sustains us. It's a very important part of our culture. It can be a very artistic form of expression. And it's a shame when we make food mean so much that it becomes something that we dread and that we have all sorts of rules around. And so I'd really like to suggest that perhaps we approach the subject of food at Christmas in a bit of a more mindful way. And that might mean just taking the time to really enjoy the food that we've got. So rather than trying to get through food quickly and guiltily, to sit down and really enjoy what you're eating. And if you try and eat mindfully, if you eat slowly, it actually has this added benefit that if we're eating more slowly, we notice the feelings of fullness, because it takes a while for those feelings of fullness to filter through. And so if we're eating slowly, it gives a chance for our bodies to tell us what's actually happening. And when we're feeling guilty and tend to be eating very quickly, we don't really listen to those signals. So it's really important that we relish our food, that we really taste it, that we really notice the different textures of our food, that we smell it so that we can really enjoy it. It can be helpful to stop halfway through a meal and put down our cutlery and just notice what's happening in our body and whether we're feeling full or not. Other things that might help at this time of year, just little things, is to be careful when we're out shopping. So, I go to the supermarket and you walk in through the door and they have got tins of Quality Street and Roses and Celebrations piled high, just massive towers of sweets. And it's trying to get you to buy them, isn't it? But I guess it's really asking yourself, if I buy this, what am I going to do with it? Who's actually going to eat it? And perhaps thinking, is it worth having it in the house? And even, if you do buy them and you've got your tins of sweets packed away for Christmas, do you really need them? Or perhaps could you donate them elsewhere? Because if you've made the mistake of buying them and know that you're going to be the only one eating them, perhaps you don't have to repeat that mistake by actually eating them. You could just get rid of them if that's not really helpful to you. The other thing I think that's sort of really helpful to think about is to actually think about the sort of 80-20 rule, which is that if we're eating healthily for 80% of the time, then 20% of the time we can actually allow ourselves to have a treat. And I think it's important to recognise that Christmas is a time of lovely food and there's nothing wrong with enjoying a nice meal. But actually, if you think to yourself that you'd like to eat healthily, that something like a roast dinner of turkey with lots of vegetables is actually not that unhealthy a meal, because turkey is actually quite a low-fat protein, and so I don't think there's any need to feel guilty about that. And maybe just cut back a bit on the high-fat items in the day. Obviously, if you're vegetarian, there's lots of lovely things that you can eat, like nuts that are very healthy for you as well. So those are just a few thoughts to help you get through this Christmas period without allowing yourself to feel too guilty. So try and eat mindfully. try and make healthy choices, and try and focus on what's really good for you, not what you can't have, but what you can really have. That's a healthy choice for you. Forgive my voice, I'm suffering a bit with a chest infection, but I look forward to seeing you tomorrow where we can talk about, what's the next one? G, and that's going to be all about gratitude. Bye for now.